Hi, Rod from Fleet News Group, and look what I've got with me today, the Tesla Model 3. Let's give it a whirl. And remember, if you like these videos, please remember to give us a thumbs up, as well as hit that subscribe button. That way you can keep up to date with all the latest happenings at the Fleet News Group. Well, what I think about the styling of the Model 3, I think it's quite attractive. I first saw this car a couple of years ago when it was launched in Australia, took it for a test drive back then, and the styling, it's, for want of a bit of a mini Model S in some respects, very similarly type proportions, just it's a slightly smaller car. Looks very nice. I've got the aero wheels that come standard on this particular model here as well. I think they're a bit out there and different, which is a good thing. I like the fact in black. This blue colour here is a $1,500 option on this car, but the big glass roof, the black wheels, I think it all works. And it's generally, I think, quite an attractive car. But the one thing it doesn't have, when you look down the front here, there's no grille, because it's electric. Well, what's under the bonnet on the Model 3? You actually unlock it from inside, just pops up there, but wait, there's no motor. There's a charge cable kit, but no motor, just a little storage box. Tesla actually calls it a frunk, for front trunk. The engine's actually underneath between the rear wheels, and it's rated at 200 kilowatts in power and 375 newton meters in torque. The battery, it's down below between the wheels, and it's a 62.3 kilowatt hour battery that powers the standard range Model 3 here. It is the rear wheel drive version of this car, so it's the entry level model into Model 3, but pretty well kitted out and versatile too, with a frunk. Well, here I am in the driver's seat of the Tesla 3, and straight away you'll notice it's a very different driving environment to that of other cars. There's no instrument cluster. In fact, there's only 2 buttons in the entire car on either side of the steering. They're gimbal buttons. You roll them around, push them in, do all sorts of functions, but it's a very clean and minimalist look inside the cabin here, excepting for the absolutely huge landscape mounted infotainment screen, which is also all your instruments in the car. The speedo is up here in the corner, tells you what gear you're in, what the rate of charge is, all the functions of the car, and everything is controlled through here, including the ventilation. See, it comes up there and you control the vents by moving your fingers on the screen, directing the airflow wherever you want it to go. Very natty. It's very nice here inside the car. Leather seats, which are heated. Also the steering wheel, which is heated, is also leather wrapped. Some wireless charging mat there, because Apple CarPlay Android Auto is included in this car. It also has a Spotify subscription in this car at the moment, which makes it really handy listening to all your favourite tunes. Speaking of that, what's the sound like? Turn it up here. Oh, get it played. It's very nice, very loud, very clear. It's a 14 speaker stereo in this car, complete with 2 subwoofers. As I said, wireless charging, wireless Apple CarPlay. We've got cup holders here, bottle holders, door pockets there as well. So the cup holders look alright, they're kind of good. Some absolutely huge storage spaces in here. There's my phone case in there, and then in here as well, absolutely gargantuan storage place with another outlet there as well. And very, very nice here in the driver's seat of the Model 3. Well, let's have a look in the rear seat of the Model 3 now. Nice leather seats in here as well. Cup holders in the leather armrest, which folds up out of the way. Looks to be a good deal of leg room, and certainly headroom in here as well. And then one of the features of this car is a huge glass roof. Great view, letting the sunshine in. I think it's a very nice environment inside the Model 3. Having a look in the boot now of the Model 3. It's quite a large boot here. Looking in there. A lot of space. 649 litres, I believe. But underneath here we've got another little hidey hole. And we look in there, we've got charge cable stored underneath. But one thing you'll notice that's missing is there is no spare wheel. Well, there's no glue kit either. What Tesla, I believe, does is actually, if you have a flat, you ring them up, provided you're within a certain distance of a metro area, and they'll come out with a spare wheel and tyre and change it over for you. Very different. Well, as you can see here now, I've got the rear seats folded down, which gives you even more space through from the boot. It's a 60-40 rear fold on the seats, giving a good bit of versatility here. Makes the car even more practical. Well, let's talk charging. I've got the Model 3 here plugged into a 240 volt outlet. Cords all plugged in there, ready to go, charging away. And we have a look here. How long is it going to take? Well, we are at 59% at the moment, and it's saying it's going to take 16 hours to get it back up to 100% charge on 240. Can we do any better than that? Well, as it's a Tesla, maybe a better way to charge it is it a Tesla supercharger. So we've got it plugged in here. All good to go. All plugged in there very goodly. And look, how long is it going to take now? It's going to take 16 hours at home on 240. Now we're already up to 60%, and it's going to take it 40 minutes to get back up to 80%. Which will be plenty of charge to get around for what we want to do. So I'll let it go charging. I'll go get a coffee or something while I wait. Very good. Well, we've come back again. It's a bit over an hour since we left the car here. How's it going for charging? Let's have a look. Woohoo! 100%. And that's a bit over 60 minutes on the charge, so probably did it even quicker. But the supercharger certainly does the business in charging you up quickly. Probably one more reason to buy a Tesla. At least you know when you take your Tesla to a Tesla supercharger, A, it's going to work, and B, it'll charge it really fast. Well, what's it like driving the Model 3? It's bloody good, to be honest. It really is. The car just feels planted. The steering, the suspension, it just feels really comfortable. It really wants to hook in and drive well. I think it's really good. All the creature comforts inside? Yes, there is, absolutely. Leather everything, a heated seat at the moment, heated steering wheel. It's a very, very nice environment to be in. The big screen dominates the dashboard. There is no instrument panel in front of you. It's very minimalist inside the cabin here. Only 2 buttons on the steering wheel, but the big screen, it's huge. I thought it would be distracting, but it's not. And as for like looking over at the speedo, which is in the top right corner of the display, it's not that bad. You glance over it just like you glance down at the instrument panel. Not too bad at all. You get used to it. It's quite nice. I like it. Well, what's it go like? I've got to be honest, it doesn't disappoint. Holy dooly, she'll get up and go in a great rate of knots. This is the single motor rear wheel drive in the Model 3. If you go for the dual motor, or better still the dual motor for performance model, it just hammers even harder. It's just a rush of acceleration as you leap away. 0 to 106.1 seconds, that's pretty good. And it's basically on tap whenever you want it. Very nice. But be cautious in these electric cars because you lose all sensation of speed. You really do. So just have to consider that because you don't want no love letters from the constabulary, that's for sure. The coffee cup test. Got my big coffee here. How easy is that? Nice and comfortable. Easy to get to. Makes driving along such a pleasure. Well, what's it like to live with every day? I think it's quite good actually. Comfortable, quiet of course, performance on tap whenever you want it, very, very well featured. And for this is Tesla's entry-level model, very well kitted out. You know, it's got everything that every other Tesla has in terms of software and that. It is extra cost to have the full autopilot and the auto driving feature added to this car. Quite a lot of coin for that. I think $5,100 for the enhanced autopilot and the full driving one's $10,100. So there's serious expenditure to have on top of its purchase price of this car for that kind of auto driving capabilities. But just driving around yourself, it's just really nice. It does everything you want it to do. You just get in and go. Don't have to think about it. But one thing you do have to keep in mind, being an electric vehicle, is charging. Charging off a 240 volt outlet can take this car somewhere between 24 and 36 hours, back up to 100%. Using a supercharger, a Tesla supercharger, it'll charge this car up for 299 k's range in 15 minutes. That's pretty good. You've just got to get to a Tesla supercharger and use one of them. And Tesla does growing more and more, having more places. I've seen them in Canberra, I've seen them in Newcastle, I've seen them obviously in Sydney and so out different suburbs of Sydney as well. It's getting more and more of them out and will keep expanding as time goes on. But I think if you're looking for an electric vehicle for your next novated lease, this car and Teslas overall are really worth consideration. In my mind, they're actually the leader in electric car technology. All the other manufacturers have been playing catch up and quite well. Some great examples, especially from the Europeans there, how they're going. But this was the first, and I think these were the cars that actually normalised electric vehicles. They took the electric car from being all about being an electric car to just being a car, and judge the car on how it performs, how it feels to drive, how you feel driving it. Doesn't matter what powers it, it's a car. And I think that sort of changed the mindset and the way the market looked at electric vehicles, and has helped propel them into being the norm. You know, if you're looking for one, this is a pretty good one. What kind of warranty does Tesla offer? Well, it's not as much actually as some other manufacturers. It's a 4-year, 80,000 kilometre warranty, and the battery warranty is 8 years or 160,000 Ks. Not as good as some others, but 4 years, if you're using it as an urban type vehicle, yeah, you mightn't break the 80. There's that to consider. Well, what's it going to cost? As you see the car right here, the Model 3, standard battery, rear wheel drive, the driveway price $64,201. But to that you have to add $1,500 for the paint job. It's a lot of money for getting a nice colour, but the red's $2,400. So as you see the car right here, right now, drive away, it's priced at $65,701. Electric car, yeah, that's pretty much, they're not as cheap as petrol cars, but it's a whole lot of car for that money. Absolutely got the tech like you wouldn't believe. It's just a nice vehicle. With the price though, you also have to consider rebates, government incentives and rebates. The federal government has already announced under the threshold, which is in the mid 80,000s, no FBT on brand new electric vehicles. The New South Wales government has offered for brand new electric vehicles purchased under $68,000, is where the threshold sits, somewhere around there, it's a $3,000 rebate. So there's that to consider too when you're factoring it into your price calculations. Something to think about. Well, I've really enjoyed my time driving the Tesla Model 3. I think they're fantastic cars. They really redefine how you think about electric cars. It's a car first. It just happens to be powered by electricity. And that, I think, is what has made all the difference and led the way in bringing EVs into our market. Bit over $65,000 as you see it here, right now, drive away. It's not the cheapest thing going around, but it is absolutely magnificent electric car. I think for the coin, it's going to serve you well. Ticks a lot of boxes this, so if you're in the market for a new novated lease, looking for an EV, want a nice saloon sedan type car, this could well tick the boxes all for you. I think it does really well, and you'd be happy in it every day. I think it's a really nice car. In any case, if you like these videos, please remember to give us a thumbs up, as well as hitting that subscribe button as well, and hit the bell notification. That way you can be kept up to date with all the latest happenings at the Fleet News Group. I'm Rod, thanks very much for watching, and enjoy your day.